secret place where there's only you and me. I don't know what to do, I'm so confused, and I need peace. Take me away. Take me away. Take me Sometimes life weighs me down. I try and I try to press on, but every time I turn around, it seems like I'm up against the wall. My life's upside down. I need to rest away from all life's mess in your secret place where there's only you and me. I don't know what to do, I'm so confused, and I need peace. Take me to your secret place. Take me to your secret place. Take me to your.
I'm gonna give Facebook a second to do all of the tagging and the tags so people can join. It's our Thursday thing. And I am back. Let's see. I thought I tagged everybody. Oh, I guess you gotta do it in here. I'm sure people will hop on as we're going through. They need to tag all. They need to tag all. Let's see. Oh, okay. That's a little too bright. All right. I'm so excited to be here with y'all this evening. I'm clicking these tags because you gotta invite folks, right? And maybe I'll make a set time going forward. And once you all join, just drop a comment below so I know you're in. That always is helpful. And I believe I tagged people, so I thought that would send a notification. Y'all know I'm new to this. So still figuring it out. It's almost like you need like 3 devices at once. That's basically what it is. Pretty sure that's what it is. I would have some music playing, but you know, Facebook be hating on the music. They try to shut you down, shut you out when you like to play the music. But people can watch the replay too, so I'm not gonna spend too much time with this invitation piece. But I do want to make sure I click some of my loyal faithfuls, as I told them I'm calling them, who have been on every live I've done so far. Thank you, I appreciate you. And okay, I got a few. I'm sure Facebook is doing this notification thing, so I'm gonna go right in because I know people will watch the replay later, and it says I'm live, so I'm pretty sure it's recording. And I wanted to talk to you all. I was like, okay, well, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So we've pushed, right, ourselves out of the nest. We've gotten our nest in order, right? We figured out what our plan was, what we're gonna do, and then we decided that we were going to take flight on whatever that was. And so it could have been a book, it could have been a new business, it could have been a different job, whatever it was for you, you took flight on it. And so now that we're in it and we're getting things going, what do we do next? Now we're in it. How do we know who to hire? It's much different, working for yourself than it is working for other people. Oh my goodness, I thought I tagged everybody. This thing is like, tag friends, tag friends. Ay vey. Listen, y'all just gonna have to watch the replay because I'm just gonna go in. And it's okay, I know people will join later. And then once you do start joining, just make sure to, oh, there we go. Make sure to comment, okay? Comment. Because that helps me to know who's on and who's watching. And if you have questions as we go, you can make comments that way as well. And so I wanted to talk to you all about your people skills and your own skills for being your own boss. Because it's a lot different being your own boss. It's a lot different when you decide when you work. It's a lot different when you decide how many hours to put in or not. We can be a lot more lenient on ourselves than anybody else would ever be. And so my first question to you is, would you hire you? Based on the work activity that you're doing right now, based on the accomplishments that you've done in your business only in the last week or just yesterday, right? Would you hire you? Would you rehire yourself? Or would you be fired? Because there's a couple of times I needed to fire myself. And I really had to have a come to Jesus moment, as I call it. And I had to, man, why is it that I was working 12 hours a day for somebody else, and I'm not giving myself that same kind of energy? I'm not giving myself that same kind of time and dedication. I was crossing T's, dotting I's, making sure that everything was in order. And just, I'm submitting my best of the best, right? So I can get the promotion or get the great, I don't know, what did they used to call it? Like the quarterly review or yearly review, whatever it was. You work harder most times for someone else than you do for yourself. And that's a mistake. That is a big mistake, okay? So we gotta work through this. So couple of tips I have for working through it is, one, you gotta have a conversation with yourself. Write out everything you've done and everything you should have done. Now be realistic with it, right? Sometimes overachievers tend to set our bar like super high. You don't have to set it that high, but you do want to make sure that you're being productive. You want to make sure that you have a list. So we always, in Mary Kay, we call it our 6 most important things list, and that you make it the night before. And I know other, like areas or businesses might call it MITs, most important things. And so did you make that list the night before? One suggestion that I heard from someone, I couldn't recall where, was that maybe send an email to yourself. The night before, send an email to yourself so that you have your action items for the next day. And send it as if you are a boss sending an email to an employee. Because there are times in your business where you have to be the boss, and there are times in your business where you need to be an employee. Right? And so sometimes just that little tweak, that little switch of directing yourself as if you were to get directions from your boss at your job, if they send you an email or write you a memo or however they told you what to do the same thing for you in your business, or for you in how many chapters you're gonna write in your book, or for you in how many songs, how many verses you intend to write for you, and however it applies to the goal that you have set and that you're taking flight on. And so I want you to know that you have to really take notice of these things, because it is easy to get lazy. Easy. It's easy to get lazy. And it's easy to get caught up in Netflix. It is easy to do a lot of work, but work that's not an income producing activity. So are you doing something that's an income producing activity? Are you actually doing something that's gonna make you money? Now there are times and there are things that you do need to do that are just mundane tasks. If you hadn't hired out for it, like I talked about in my last video, then yes, you do have to do those things. So like in this quarantine, I've been filling orders and packing bags and doing stuff I hadn't done in years. I can't wait to get an assistant back up in here, okay? Let me know. I'm taking inquiries, okay? So back to my my topic here. Don't work harder for someone else than what you do for yourself. Like, it is imperative that you make a plan, make an action item, make a list so that you know what you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to focus on today. And it's okay if you don't check off everything on the list. Just push it on over to the next list. In high school, they used to tease me, like, Inez, you always got a list. You got a list for everything. How many lists do you have? I said, I got a list for everything I'm responsible. I had a list for being class president. I had a list for being consecrated treasurer. I had a list for my homework projects I needed to do. I had a list for stuff I was doing for things I was leading at church. I had a list of things I needed to do being the, captain of the volleyball team. And I mean, I had a list, okay, for each different category. And that might overwhelm some of you. So you have to know, how do you learn best? How do you work best? Because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, but you do need to write it down. You do want to write it down, because when you write it down, it just makes it plain. It makes it clear, gets it out of your head. It's not all fuzzy. It's just like, okay, this is what I got to do. And it feels good to check off them boxes. Check, check, check. Okay, it feels good. So make that a habit in your business daily. Send yourself that email if it helps on a regular. Maybe have an accountability partner. I mean, it could be your coach. It could be a friend. It could be someone that's in a business similar to yours. Whoever it is for you. Like someone that keeps you accountable. Like, okay, did you do what was on your list today? How many did you get done of your 6 in my piece? 2? Oh, you better keep going. You need someone that's gonna give you that push, that's gonna give you that. And so I hope this thing is recording and live, because usually I feel like y'all are commenting and stuff by now. But no worries, I'm gonna keep it rolling. And when you join, just make a comment, because it's hard for me to see. So if you just make a comment after you join, that helps everybody to know that you're on. And so thank y'all. And if you're watching later and you watch the replay, put #replay. And I always like for you to comment with your takeaways, comment with questions, comment with other topic suggestions. I said that we might have time for Q&A on this one, so we'll see. And if not, we'll just do it next week. And maybe I'll make that the thing, like every 4th Thursday is the Q&A. I don't know. I guess I'll have to tell y'all the time ahead of time so y'all can get ready for that. Because I've been going different times these Thursdays, but it's my first month at this, so we're working in progress. Okay. Now, one thing that I find that is a bit of a transition for people who are pushing themselves out of their comfort zone and out of their nest and out of their comfort zone, really, is once you're by yourself with that business, you have to be self-motivated. You have to be a self-starter. You have to have intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation, because extrinsic motivation is usually what happens at work or somewhere else. You have an extrinsic motivation, whether it's positive or negative. You got a reason why you got to get it done, or somebody has told you, like, yep, you got a deadline, you have a proposal, you have a presentation by this day, by that day. You have something that you want to that is forcing you to do it. And when you work for yourself, or when you're writing your own book, or when you're stepping out in a different way, you have to be that for you. Or you have to hire somebody to, or you have to assign and give permission for someone to push you and to coach you in that arena, because you definitely have to have a little bit of intrinsic motivation. You got to be self-motivated. You have to be disciplined. Disciplined, that's the word, because that is not easy all the time. Some personality styles are great at it, others are not. And I'm gonna get into the personality styles actually right now. So that was a perfect transition. I'm looking down at my notes. Okay, so I want to talk to you all about working for yourself and how that transition goes, which we talked a little bit about now, and then your people skills, because this is something that you probably have some of it already. But when you are in business for yourself, you actually have to develop even more. And I learned this one the hard way. So over the years, I've gotten much, much better at my people skills and controlling them, knowing when to pull it back, knowing when to shift it, knowing how to communicate differently. And so I'm gonna talk to you about a few things that I think are pivotal and important. And if you follow my Inez K. Jones Facebook page or my @Inez K. Jones Instagram, I've posted a lot about these different personality styles and leading and different kind of leaders. And so I think it's really important that you kind of get them down packed. So the first one is DISC. D-I-S-C. Now, some people learn it a different way. I don't know the acronym for the other one. I think it's like an A personality or B, C. I don't know how that goes, but DISC is the one that I like and I use. But the other one is, I think, basically similar. Now, D stands for dominant, I stands for influential, S stands for steadiness, and C stands for conscientious. And I'll post the links to the quiz and things later so you guys can take the quiz, because if you don't know your personality style, that's the first step. You need to know your personality style, and there's a few reasons for that. One, you need to know your personality style so that you understand where you are, how you fit in, and how it correlates or not to other personality styles. Two, when you're hiring, you want to hire someone, if not a couple of folks, that are opposite personality styles than you. We're going to get into that more. And so D-I-S-C, and I say C was conscientious. And so I explained it all the time in Mary Kay. I explained like, well, if you were in a car ride and you got the driver, you got somebody who's controlling the music, you got somebody who has the directions on GPS and probably also printed out just in case you lose service, and then you have the person who brought the snacks and probably any medicines or anything that people might have forgotten. And I learned that from someone in Mary Kay that explained, I'm just like, oh, that's just perfect. It's a quick, easy way. And so from that scenario, whether you're female or male, you can say like, oh yeah, I'd be the driver, or I'd be controlling the music, or I'd have the directions, or I'd have the snacks. And so the driver is that D, that dominant personality. And the person controlling the music is that I, they're influential, they're fun, they usually like the party, they love to be around people. And the S is the steadiness, and that's someone who always thinks about others before themselves, especially their family. If you ask an S personality, tell me a little bit about you, they're going to tell you about their kids or their nieces or their nephews if they don't have kids yet first, before they actually start talking about themselves. And C are conscientious. Those are people who are usually our mathematicians, accountants, very organized, very prepared, very logical, very step-by-step people. And the D are the people that if you ask them to tell me about you, they're going to tell you about all their accomplishments first. And they're very bossy, okay? D's are very bossy. So I had to learn how to pull my bossy back. And that was a hard one for me, y'all. But it is important because once I learned the different personality styles and how to close a sale differently, how to talk differently, how to coach differently based on the personality style, it made a difference. It let me connect with someone on a different level because now I'm basically speaking their language, right? So you have to learn the personality styles. And so for me, I'm a DI. And then C, and then S. And everyone has all of them in there, in themselves. Okay, we all got a little bit of everything, but some just have significantly higher of others. You usually have a dominant and a secondary, or primary and a secondary. So, and then and it might change throughout your life. There's been times in my life where my C were super high. Like when I was in pre-law school at the University of Chicago, I needed that C brain, right? I needed that that analytical thinking. I needed that. And so, now I'm more of a D&I. And that means I need to hire a C. I need a C as my assistant to make sure to help me keep me organized, to make sure to help, get stuff together for taxes. Like I need an S to make sure that I'm, always thinking about others and sending cards out and thank you messages. Like S's think about those little things, and the little things do matter. The sympathy cards, thank you cards, birthday cards, anniversary cards, or text messages, like those things are things that S's just do naturally. Naturally. And so you want to have someone who's a different personality style than you might be. And it really does make a difference. It can only make you better, right? And because they're gonna catch things that you might not catch. They're gonna see things a little differently than how you see it. And quite honestly, you want people that are even smarter than you. You want people that are great in their fields, because all that's gonna do is make your brand better. That's gonna make your business better. That's gonna make you better, because you're gonna learn things you didn't know you could do or that you had the patience for, right? And you can do it even better. And so I love that one. I think it's super important. And a lot of times our personalities don't like the step-by-step, they like to be free. But in business, you kind of need a little bit of regimen. So I believe firmly that you definitely want to make sure to take that test. And then have your loved ones take it. Have the people who are already on your team take it, so that you can see where they are, what their styles are, and how best you can relate to them, because it does make a difference. And I found that it helped me even in family relationships. For the longest, I just didn't understand certain people in my family. Now, having done some work in this, I understand. Okay, well, they can't understand my big thinking. They can't necessarily grasp, how I feel like I can go from 0 to 100 in 2 days, and without a step-by-step in between. Well, a C personality needs that step-by-step in between. A D doesn't, right? And so, that's no right or wrong way, but it helped me to understand, okay, so for them to get it, I need to break it down in steps, and then we can relate. We can see eye to eye. So it helps in relationships. It helps in friendships. I think it helps with everything. It helps in business as well. I really hope this is recording. Okay, and so next, I want you to talk about introvert versus extrovert, because that is something I think is important too. Because a lot of times people think that, I'm a little bit of both. No, you're either one or the other, and then you can add in the disc, and it'll probably make up the difference. And so, if you're someone who refuels alone, you're an introvert. A lot of the funny memes and posts I've been reading are talking about, introvert life, quarantine is nothing different for them, because they were used to doing this already, okay? Extroverts are going nuts, let me out. I need people. I need interaction. Get me out the house, okay? And so if you refuel by being around people and involved with people, then usually you're an extrovert. And so you can be an introvert who's also an I personality, which means you're good around people, and you thrive, and you have your times when you do like that. But that's not how you refuel. You refuel alone, and that makes you an introvert. And so you might know some of these things, but I'm gonna go over them all anyway for those who might not know or who are thinking about them later. The other one is an Enneagram test, and that is numbers 1 through 8. I'm an 8 on that sucker. And so you can take that again. I'll post all the links in the comments later. But that one goes really deep, and they got podcasts on it, and you can see that when you're in a healthy mental state or when you're not in a healthy mental state, how you'll change to a different number that's not really your true you. And you can also then start to identify other numbers on the Enneagram, and same thing with the disc. And so I think when you combine all these three, you're gonna be beastie at the people skills, okay? Beastie. Last but not least, I love languages. Love languages. And love languages are so important because everyone's love language is different. And people understand love in the way that they give it. And so a lot of times we make the mistake of thinking we've shown someone love because we're showing them love in our love language, but they don't understand that, because that's not how they give love language. So that's not, or how they give love. That's not their love language. And so it's not how they receive it. And so since it's not how they receive it, you kind of have that clash. And so the 5 love languages are gifting, which is mine. If you know me, I'm sending gifts, if I like you, I love you, I'm sending you a gift. And gifts don't have to necessarily be possessions or monetary, or, it's not like a big, show-off thing. Sometimes, they're small things, but it's just the thought of, thinking of someone while you're out and about. Plus, I love to shop. All right, the next one is, words of affirmation. And so this is someone who really needs to hear, I love you. They really need to hear you're doing such a great job. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. They need to hear those words of affirmation. Now, And again, we all have a little bit of everything in us, but you have rankings, and usually have, you know, a primary and a secondary. The third one would be physical touch, which is self-explanatory, and it doesn't always have to be sexual. Physical touch could just be a hug. You know, the people who are like going crazy because they can't give people hugs because of this quarantine, your love language is probably physical touch. People who, you know, just want to be close, who that's how they just understand love. And so an arm around a person, or, you know, just like a, you know, they just touch when they talk, you know. They touch others. Another love language is quality time, which is spending time with that person. Quality time. So quality time, like they need to know, like, it's, hey, it's me and you. It's me and you. Another love language is acts of service. And these are things that, you know, could be organizing a closet. It could be, you know, doing something that you didn't have to do, like going out of your way for someone to do something that might help them in their business, or just something that they've been neglecting that they could use some help on. So acts of service. So those are the 5, right? And so you want to figure out not only what you are, but what are the people in your household? What are your family members' love languages? What are your business and team members' love languages? And so, like, for my team, I have everybody take the DISC test at minimum. And then eventually, you know, I'll get to learning their love language and things. And I think it's important because now I know how they receive love, and so I can make sure to do that for them. And think about it at least once in a while. You know, you're not gonna do it every time. You're not gonna do it 24/7. You're not gonna do it all the time, because you'll naturally revert to your love language. But it's important. It's important that you just take the time to figure it out. And honestly, it helps build relationships, because people skills is relationship building. That's what it is. You're building relationships with people. People want to know that you care. People want to know that you care more than anything else. They want to know that you care. And so, even if you're thinking you're showing them that you care in one way, like I had to realize, like, me buying gifts didn't show none of my family that I loved them. Because it wasn't their love language, it was mine. I'm like the only one. It's kind of weird. But, you know, I was like, okay, well, I got to write a card, because there are a lot of them are words of affirmation, or I need to do something, this acts of service, or physical touch. I need to give them hugs because they want hugs. Oh Lord, my mama, hugs and kisses, okay? You know, so it is what it is, but it does help you to better relate to people, to build better relationships when you understand their love language, their personality style, DISC, introvert or extrovert, and if you really want to dig deep, the Enneagram, okay? And thank you, Katie Goldstein, who put me on that one. And so I just wanted to take the time to share these things with you, because I think it's important for you to know in business. And I got a couple of questions about, you know, just, well, how are you running your businesses, and what are your tips on that? And so this is, I think, one of the major tips. And I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you all this evening. And if you watch it later, you know, go ahead and put oh, did I lose it? Oops. Look at me touching stuff. I gotta leave it alone. Go ahead and put hashtag replay. But I thought that it's important because we talked about taking flight last video. And so you take flight and you get in it, and you know, then what, right? So then you gotta get good at discipline. You gotta get good at making a schedule. You gotta get good at working for yourself. You have to, and the things that you aren't good at, you're gonna outsource for. And I talked about that in the last video. Whatever you aren't good at, you need to outsource for. Seriously, because it'll only be in your interest. Now, the next thing, and probably what I'll wrap up with, is that there are gonna be bumps in the road. There are going to be bumps in the road. I don't care how much of a planner you are. I don't care how perfect you thought you had it laid out. There are always going to be bumps, okay? There are gonna be some boop, boop, slaps. There'll be some, ooh, child, how I'm gonna make it through this one? You're gonna have a few of those, all right? But I want you to know that you got to get back up again. And I said at every video, you gotta get back up again. You have to have grit, right? That's that toughness. You have to have resilience. You have to be able to have that bounce back ability where no matter what hits you, no matter what knocks you down, you get back up and then you do it better, okay? And so you also, and this one is a hard one, but you gotta smile through your storm. I said it. You have to smile through your storm. Because for one, there's all kinds of like technical stuff that when you smile, the endorphins in your brain, like it changes so many things that you don't even realize. It changes your energy. Like, so even if it's fake, you gotta put it on. You have to put it on. You have to smile. And you're not gonna be able to do it every day. I understand. Trust me, I've been there. Like I said, I'm coming out of a season, okay? But it is important. It is important because it makes a difference. And one thing you can do to shift your energy if you're going through a storm right now is you can do your gratitude affirmations. What are you grateful for? One of my favorite people who write about this topic is Rhonda Byrne, and she's the author of The Secret, The Power, and the Magic. And she talks about every day, write out and speak out loud. Oops, my whole computer falling. Speak out loud the things that you're grateful for in life. Like even when times are hard and you're stressed or money's tight or somebody quit on you that you didn't think was gonna quit, or I don't know, somebody's mad with you, or family thinks you got too bougie because you're your own boss now. I don't know what it is, but just know that this too shall pass. And you still need to stay grateful. You need to write that out, and it will shift everything when you do that. And it's important to write it, but it's also important to speak it because God gave us power of the tongue, so it's important to speak it. You have to speak it, and so that people know. And so people know what you're on about, but most importantly, you're speaking it for yourself, for you, for affirmation, for confirmation that even though everything's going crazy, I still got a roof over my head. I still got lights on. I still have money to eat, because some people don't have that. Be grateful. Be grateful that everything is working in your body, because I have been there where I could not go to the bathroom. Can you imagine not being able to do number one or number two? Hospitalized, for sure. Be grateful that all of your organs are working and you can go effortlessly because that is a blessing and a gift. Be grateful that you can see eyesight. There's people who don't have that. Be grateful that you can hear, that you can speak, that you can talk, that you can eat. Oh, be grateful that you have people that love you. Be grateful that you have another day on this planet to operate in your purpose and your gift. Another day is a gift, and it's something to be grateful for. It's something not to take for granted. And so we are all guilty at some point in time, myself included, of not being as grateful as we should be. And so I think that is the best way to get through a storm, is to shift that energy and become grateful and talk about every day, maybe even morning and the evening. Just 10 things that you're grateful for. And it could be as simple as I'm breathing. Thank you that I woke up this morning. Thank you that there's food on the table. Thank you that my phone works and ain't been cut off. Whatever it is for you, be grateful. Thank you. Be grateful that your kids are safe, that your family is safe. Be grateful. Be grateful that everybody's healthy. Be grateful that, you got money in the bank. What is it that you have to be grateful for? And that will help you get through anything. Anything. Like it is one of the most powerful actions you could do. Love is the most powerful word in the universe, if you didn't know, and gratitude is right under it. And so if you haven't read those books I mentioned, I encourage you to read them, okay, because they are fantastic, and some of them are on Audible as well. And she has this journal that I love that you can order on Amazon, in the Gratitude Journal. And I should have brought one. Oh, I might even have one down. I might grab it. But it's just a book that you get to write it. So you could use any notebook and do it, but I like it because it has like little verses in it. It has, inspirational quotes every day. And it tells you to do two things. One, to write what you're grateful for right now that you have. And then two, write down at least 10 things that you're grateful for that you want to come to fruition, but you speak about it in the present tense. It's very important. You speak about it as if it has already occurred. You speak about it in the present tense. You speak about it as if it's already happened. So I'm so thankful that my book is on the bestsellers list. I'm so grateful that I sold 1,000 blank of my product. I'm so grateful that I'm on the iTunes charts with my song. I'm so thankful that I'm a national sales director. That's mine, right? So like speak it as if it's already occurred, because you have the gift of creation, whether you realize it or not, with your thoughts and with your tongue, okay? And so, ooh, you can speak that thing into existence. Speak where you want to see your business to go, or for that project to grow to. Speak it into existence. Be thankful for it as if it already happened. Visualize it. There's so much power in visualization. Oh, I'm going into another topic here, but there's so much power in visualization, because you have to see it. You have to be able to see it before you can achieve it. You got to be able to see it. Can you see yourself on stage? Can you see yourself on that list? Can you see yourself as a business owner? Can you see yourself as an author? Can you see yourself as a songwriter, right? Can you see yourself as a fitness coach, or whatever it is? You have to see it first. Visualize it, all right? And then you're thinking about it, positive thoughts about it. And now you're speaking it into existence. And to top it off, now we're going to write it down. We're going to write it down as if it has already happened, because, see, the brain doesn't really know whether it did happen or not. That's not how the brain works. It just knows what you're saying, what you're seeing, what you're feeling. Your feelings are so important. It changes your vibration. Okay? And doing the gratitude would help to increase your frequency. And so, are you visualizing it? Do you have a goal poster? Right? Do you have a goal poster? And you got to update goal posters. And the reason for goal posters, and the reason why visualizations are so important, and in my video that I did about 50 things I learned in my 20s on my 30th birthday, I talked about mind movies and how great they are. So check them out. But that's kind of part of the concept. Like you create a movie of what you want to happen in your life, a visualization that you can see a real video or in your mind or on a goal poster, because the subconscious mind doesn't understand words or letters. It only understands visuals. So you have to be treating your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, both. And then you also have to be working with energy. All three are intertwined. And I think that I'm probably at about my little 40-minute mark. I try to stay under, or under 45. I might be close to it, but it's important. And so as you are pushing, as you are getting your nest in order, as you are figuring out what you want to do, what your mission, what your purpose are, because they're two different things, and then you're taking flight on one or two or both of them, or your next goal, or your bucket list that we talked about last time, you got to get this stuff in order too. You know, do a little personal digging, right? It's a little personal development, a little personal work to figure out what your style is, what your personality style is, to make sure you're practicing gratitude, to make sure that you're staying in a positive space, and then to make sure that you're learning those things about other people, their love language, whether they're introvert or extrovert, whether they are D, I, S, or C on the disc, and what number are they on the Enneagram, because it's important for your people skills. It's important for the success of your business and for longevity of keeping people with you. I have people that have been in my charter unit, 9-10 years ago, that are still with me now. Okay? You have to develop those relationships so that people are loyal to you, because they know you care, because they know that you mean them well, because they know that you want to see them succeed. All of my previous assistants now have their own businesses, right? Because yes, they're working for me, but my goal is to help them be their best self too. Like, I want them to be bosses in their own right and work in their own gifts and operate in what God has meant for them to do on this earth, right? And so they all are doing their thing, and I love it. I hate having to find somebody to replace them, but I love it. And so are you thinking like that? Okay, are you thinking like that? And don't have a selfish hoarder mentality. Please don't. There's enough to go around. And when one person leaves your life for whatever reason, that just means that season that they're there is done, and it's time for them to go on to do something else. And now you might have a door that's open for a bigger blessing, for an even better assistant, or for an even better opportunity that presents itself that you never even would have thought of, that wasn't even on your stretch list, that wasn't on the things that you wanted to come to fruition when you're doing both lists of gratitude. And so I hope that this helped you. I hope that it was something that blessed you. Please do comment below, because for whatever reason I can't see people's comments right now, but I want to know that what your takeaways were. I want to know if you have questions. I want to know if you have other topics you'd like me to go over. And then next week, I'm thinking we'll do a Q&A. I wonder if I'll see how that goes. But y'all got to hop on the live for me to do the Q&A. So maybe comment below and let me know what time is best on Thursdays. Yes. What time, Central Standard Time, is best on Thursdays for you all to engage and interact on a live? Like, I think my very first one was really late. And I know a lot of people hopped on because I never go live. And then the next one I did it a little earlier, and this one's like kind of in between. So I've been trying out different times just to see if it makes a difference. So please drop that below in the comments and let me know. And if you aren't following me, follow me at Inez K. Jones on all social media platforms, especially IG. I gotta get these IGs up, followers up, and Twitter and YouTube, Facebook, my pages, Inez K. Jones Consulting for my scholarship business, and this is my main page. And so eventually I'm gonna switch these lives over to my Inez K. Jones page, so stay tuned. And I'm gonna have to upload these videos on the YouTube channel. Yes, so it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And so I hope that this was good for you all, and stay tuned. Next week we're gonna do Q&A, live Q&A, and I want y'all to stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. Maybe we'll get into that topic next week, we'll see. But I hope y'all have a great evening. Good night, and I love you.
There's only you and me. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. And